Hello, everyone. Welcome to the World Down Syndrome Congress, Dubai 2021. I'll be speaking about inclusion. My name is Sheikha. I am 25 years old. I am from Dubai. I'm a self advocate. Some of the organizations I am part of is Down Syndrome International, MS Down Syndrome Association, Inclusion International, Inclusion MENA, Charter City of Humanitarian Services, and the Special Olympics. What does inclusion mean? According to Oxford Dictionary, inclusion means the practice or policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise excluded or marginalized, such as these who have physical or mental disabilities and members of the other minority groups. What does inclusion means to me? People coming together to remove discrimination towards people with disabilities, being educated about the rights of people with disabilities, and creating communities where we have the same rights as everyone else. Once we remove these barriers, inclusion will be possible. What is our rights? We have healthcare, where people with disabilities have the right to access health and have. We have education, where people with disabilities have the right to be educated and go to schooling and higher education like universities. Being valued equally. People with disabilities have the right to be equal towards everybody else, even people without disabilities too. Closing institutions. Um, People with disabilities stay in these places where they are being locked up, where we're trying to not let them experience those um, feelings and experiences. Employment. People with disabilities have the right to get a job. Families. People with disabilities have the right to have a family and create their own families too. Communities. People with disabilities have the right to be in a community where we all learn together, being appreciated and accepted of who we are. Standard of living. People with disability have the right to do this because we where we can get job and creating a family and having good health as well. Social protection is people with disability have the right to be protected from society. People with disability have the right to be recognized legally in the world. Participation in public and political and independent life. People with disability have the right to vote and being part of a political itself, as well as people with disabilities have the right to be independent and have their own privacy. Social and cultural inclusion. People with disabilities are getting accepted in society and also culturally, like religion. Participation in sports and leisure and recreation. People with disabilities have the right to do all these sports and exercises. See CRPD and the SDGs. CRPD stands for Convention on Rights of Person with Disability. It was created by the United Nations in 2006. It is a set of policies called articles that protect the right of people with disabilities. It's currently ratified by 182 countries. The rights that I mentioned earlier are all part of the CRPD. The Sustainable Development Goals are called for action by all countries to promote good quality of life for all people for our Earth. A list of 17 goals that was created by the United Nations in 2016 are intended to be achieved by the year of 2030. Here is the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 goals. Like for a few examples would be no poverty, life on land, life underwater, and good education, and so on. In order for the SDGs to be possible, the CRPD has to be implemented. Because to make the world goals possible, the goal has to include people with disabilities. So, my experience with my right of education is in a young age. I always want to go to school and go to a mainstream school. Me and my mom knows my right to go to school and being educated. But the headmaster of the school told my mom and me I shouldn't go to school because I supposed to go to a specialized school or institutions. But because me and my mom knows my rights, my mom extremely pushed me to go to school and get educated in a young age. The moral of the story is it's very important for all people with disabilities to be self advocates. A self advocate is someone who knows and understands their rights, knows how to speak up and stand up for their rights, and uses their voice and make sure that they are all heard. They are also able to set an example for other people with disabilities who are unable to advocate. If we all come together, we can fight for our rights and have our voices heard. So, few recommendations for inclusion. It, it's important for everyone in society to have good practices for inclusion. People need to educate themselves on inclusion through media, social media, public talks, and campaigns by different organizations. Create training for decision makers, employers, and schools, and etc. to include people with disability in society, educating everyone on our rights and saying that our rights are respected. So, my final message is this is who we are. We are born this way. We can't change who we are. Listen to these recommendations, and this key message can help you to apply and implement. This is uh, in your daily life. Once discrimination is removed, inclusion becomes a reality. Thank you everyone for joining the World Down Syndrome Congress. I hope you have a good day. Thank you.